What's up, you guys? It's Levi here. Welcome to the Cybersecurity Education channel. We got another month down, and you know what that means. It means that we got another month of phishing scams to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about August 2019 phishing scams. I got my phishing gear on. I'm ready to reel in some fish and talk to you about the fish that we're getting today. Today I'll be talking about 3 different types of phishing scams that have happened in the month of August of 2019. The first phishing scam is fake resumes being sent to people. The second phishing scam is an Instagram phishing attack that's happening to people. And the third phishing scam is an Office 365 unknown login scam that's been going around. Alright, so before we discuss those topics, some of you people might not know what phishing is. Basically, phishing is when somebody sends out an email or they send a bait that is fake, and they're trying to get you, the fish, to bite on the bait. And once you bite on the bait, you'll get malware installed on your computer that can do terrible things, such as being able to spy on you, being able to steal your account information, being able to commit identity fraud against you, things like that. So phishing is definitely a bad thing. So today I'm going to be going through what each one of these cases is, and then most importantly, I'm going to be going through what you guys can do to help protect yourself. So I hope you guys enjoy this content. Let's get to phishing. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, so this content can get promoted by the YouTube algorithm and I can help more people like you. Alright, so the first case that we have is a fake resume scam. This is especially important for you all that are in HR. If you're not in HR, you still might fall for the scam if you're trying to hire somebody for a side job or something like that. All these phishing examples that I'm showing you are coming from bleepingcomputer.com. I'll post them down in the description, so if you guys want to look at the articles more, you can take a look at them. Alright, so the first example here of the fake resume scam, you can see here you got an email that could look pretty legit if you're from an HR company or something like that. And I'm sure it's quite common to get emails like this. Alright, so you're working for an HR department or whatever, and you're trying to go through resumes and you get an email like this, and you don't pay too much attention to it. And you just go ahead and open up the attachment, because that's what you usually do. And you get to this nice little screen here that says security warning, macros have been disabled, and it wants you to enable the content. So what do? You just go ahead and enable the content. You're not thinking about it. And what happens? Boom, you get malware installed on your computer, and a remote access tool is installed on your computer. What does this mean? Basically, it means that you opened up the ability for somebody to be able to initiate remote desktop connections to your computer, so they can do whatever the F they want on your computer. They can log all your keystrokes, they can steal your passwords off your computer, they can capture snapshots and record your webcams, they can download and exfiltrate files, and they can manage processes on your machine. So, all terrible things that you don't want attackers to be able to do. So, what can you do to protect yourself in this situation? Alright, so the first thing is I don't care what email you're getting. Look at what the email looks like. There's a lot of grammar errors in this email. Attached resume. Attached doesn't even have a capital A on it. And then just the formatting, like hello. There's no space in between hello and the next line. And then thank you at the end of it, they forgot to put a comma. I'm not sure if this email was cut off, but if it wasn't, they forgot to put their name at the end of it. So those are already some red flags. The fact that the attachment is named 0.doc, that seems kind of weird to me. So those are the basic things that you could look for. And if you're in an HR department and you're reviewing resumes and you see spelling if you see spelling and grammar errors on the email, that should be an automatic disqualification for that person anyway, right? But let's say that you weren't able to detect it based off the grammar errors and the weird things. You go ahead and open up that document. The next key is it wants you to open up a macro. And every time you see a macro, you should have red flags going in your head going ding, 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 ding. Why am I being requested to open a macro unless you are 100% sure that there's a legitimate reason why there's a macro in that email, and you know from the person that sent it to you that you need to have that macro on there, do not open macros. Never ever open a macro unless you're 100% sure that it is needed for you to be able to do your job inside of that email or do whatever you need to do. And the reason is because one of the most common ways that people get infected from documents is when they open up a macro. That macro allows a virus to execute in the background and infect your system. So don't open macros unless you're 100% sure. I can't stress that enough. And this is especially true if you're getting a resume and you work in an HR department. There is absolutely no reason that you ever should have to open up a macro to view somebody's resume. So that's a good tip for you HR people out there. All right, so moving on to the next one. Next one's the Instagram fish here. You can see my awesome picture of a fish. I'm a great artist. If you like my artistic skill, go ahead and press the thumbs up button so I can know that you love my artistic skill. If you don't like it, press the thumb up button too. All right, so you get this fake email pretending like someone tried to log into your Instagram account. If it wasn't you, then it wants you to click on that sign-in link and then type in your code. So you're freaking out a little bit. You're like, okay, I better go do this. Not really thinking. It's social engineering you a little bit. And it brings you to the sign-in page here. As you can see from this picture here, the sign-in page is basically copying the sign-in page of the original sign-in page on Instagram, but it's slightly different. But most people aren't going to notice the difference, so you go ahead and fill out all your information. You click on the sign up button, and boom, what happens? They got your password. They can sign in if you do not have two-factor authentication turned on. So how can you protect yourself from this situation? Well, the first thing that you can do for yourself is make sure that you have two-factor authentication turned on your Instagram account. And honestly, any account that you can do this on, you should have it turned on. So if you fall for scams like this, they have to break into your second factor in order to be able to get into those sites. I'll post a link down in the description on how to turn two-factor authentication on if you don't know how. The second thing that you can do in this situation is when you're clicking on that link inside of your email, before you click on a link, always hover over it to see where it's going. As you can see on the top of the next page, it goes to a .cf link. Why would an Instagram link ever redirect you to a .cf? It should be an Instagram.com or a Facebook.com link, since Facebook owns Instagram. So that should be a red flag there. If it's unfortunate enough that you did click on the link, you didn't hover over it, then you'll look up in the address bar and see the same thing there. One thing to note here too is just because it says it's secure and has the green padlock up in the corner doesn't mean the page is secure. That just means that your traffic is secure to that page. But anybody can get a certificate and make it look like the page is secure, but it's only secure if the site you're connected to is a trusted site. If it's not a trusted site, you're still sending that information to it and they can see that information. So the number 3 thing that you can do to protect yourself in this situation is you can check for spelling mistakes and grammar errors. This one would be very hard to detect from this email. The only main one I can see is there isn't a space before the period and the please. So that would be very hard to detect in this email, but that's something you should be looking for in every email. The number 4 thing that you could do in this situation is you could check the email address. It doesn't show what the email address is in this situation, but if it was coming from some weird source that wasn't Facebook or Instagram.com, then that should be a red flag to you, ding, 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 that this probably isn't a legitimate email. That being said, it could come from an Instagram or Facebook email account and still not be legit. Email addresses can be a spoof, so don't use that as your number 1 source, but you can use that as a secondary source to help verify. And then finally, the 5th thing that you can do to help yourself out, if you did fall for this scam, make sure you go and change your password immediately. If they do happen to break into your account, and you're not able to change your password, you can submit a support ticket with Instagram to try to get your account back. All right, finally, the third thing that we're going to be talking about is the Office 365 unknown login scam. Or the Microsoft unusual account activity. So as you can see here, this email looks pretty legit. It's pretending like somebody signed into your account from Indonesia, and you need to click on that button to review the activity so you can approve it or whatnot. So you go ahead and you click on that link. What happens next? Well, you get to this cool little Office 365 sign-in page. And the page looks very legit, so you go ahead and sign in there. So now what happens? Well, you get to this page that no matter what you enter in there, like if you enter "I will smash that like" button, you're still going to get redirected to this "we're unable to complete your request" page. But that doesn't mean that you can't complete smashing that like button if you want to. But unfortunately, if you didn't have two-factor authentication turned on, guess what? The criminal has your password that you typed in there, and they will likely log into your account and try to hijack it. So what can you do to help protect yourself in this situation? Well, the first thing is hover over that link. I can't stress it enough. When you get links that you have to click on, hover over the link. You would see that it would go to this accountoffice.dynv6.net. It's not an office.com address. It's not a Microsoft address. So that should be raising red flags in your head. This is not a legit email. And then the same thing, if you did click on that link and go to the next page, you would see on the login page that it's not legit. The other thing is you could check the address that it's coming from, but you might say in this situation,
"But Levi, the address looks like a legit address. It's coming from a Microsoft.com link."
But remember in the last segment, I talked about how account email addresses can be spoofed very easily. Well, in this situation, the account email address was spoofed, giving it more credibility, so you can't totally rely on that. And this is a perfect example of that. The next thing that you can do is when you go to this page, it's a sign-in page. You notice that the link is not secure. The page isn't secure. And anytime you're going to a sign-in page, or anytime you're entering information on a page where it says not secure up in that corner, you want to back away as soon as possible, because that means that the data that you're sending to that site in between is not being secured. So if somebody's sitting in the middle there, they can steal your password in between your computer and that site. And you don't want that. You always want that to be secure. So that should be a red flag too. But remember, even if it says secured, that doesn't mean that it's secured. The other side can put a fake security certificate there, making it look like it's secure. So you can't go just based off of that. And then finally, the last thing and the most important thing is to make sure to turn on that two-factor authentication for every account that you have. You absolutely need to have it on nowadays. So if you fall for scams like this, you have to do another task to be able to get into your account, and it's something else that somebody else has to break into to get into your account. Having 2FA on will save your butt in so many situations. Let's say that your password's involved in another data breach and they get your password. Well, with two-factor authentication on, it doesn't matter, because that breached password will be useless unless they get your second factor. So it's absolutely necessary that you turn 2FA on for everything. I hope this content was really useful for you guys. I'll keep creating these top 3 phishing email posts every month as long as phishing emails are out. You guys seem to really like this content a lot. If you guys have any phishing emails that you want me to bring up potentially in the next month, go ahead and send me an email. I'll post my email address down below with it. It'd be nice to have content from you guys to be able to share with others as well. Hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.